Hello, Libra. How are you? I hope you are well. Welcome to your August 2020 reading. Let's see how you all are doing. I think last month you had a pretty decent reading. Trying to get a vibe for how the story goes. Okay, the Chariot. First card out, energy. So, obviously, either could be a Cancer, right, who is very much become the center of your focus for the month of August. And with them showing up as the Chariot, they are showing up as the iteration or the version of Cancer that is very determined, that is in fact very grounded, and very focused on where it is that they're trying to go. This could also represent you as being extremely determined during this season, during Leo season, and feeling very much in charge, right? That you are driving the ship that is your life. I like it. I like the Chariot as the first card out for you guys. Okay. 9 of Pentacles, a continuation of this energy. 8 of Swords. And the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. I think with the 8 of Swords coming up, that there is still, how can I say, if the Chariot represents you, right? And this 8 of Swords is showing up right above this Chariot card and next to the 9 of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune, that this 8 of Swords also very much can represent a struggle that you are having in, right, okay, I'm not explaining this well. So we have the Chariot here. So we have these two sort of dichotomies, these two dualities here, right? And we have these two dualities here. So we have on one hand the 9 of Pentacles, someone who is very abundant, who's very independent, and who is capable of seeing possibility, right? Who is capable of utilizing their abundance, utilizing their independence to gain more, right? They've been able to create this sort of cycle of giving, receiving, gaining, and receiving. And with this 8 of Swords here, I feel as though there is still sort of lingering self-defeating attitudes or beliefs around your independence and around going forth and getting that which you want by yourself and being able to do so in a way that you don't need, right? You need very little from other people. And I think that sometimes what happens when we begin to experience success, or we begin to experience financial abundance, or we begin to experience, we've gotten that business up and running, or the thing that we thought was going to be really hard, we were making it happen, that can at the same time trigger, right, what our old limitations and what we believe to be our limitations. And so in the midst of all of these really beautiful things happening, there is still a reminder of the ways in which, maybe even regret, of the ways in which you held yourself back in the past. And the Wheel of Fortune is here to remind you that what goes up must come down. So like while you're in this moment of abundance, express gratitude, be grateful, that we never know when we fall back underneath the wheel. And, not that you're going to go back to being here, but that there's always a potential to, I have to sneeze, find ourselves back in a place of struggle, right? Back in a place where things aren't so easy. And then we find ourselves back where things are easy. If you are dealing with another person who is this Chariot card, I feel that they are extremely independent and extremely they don't need very much out of a relationship. They're pretty self-generating, and self-fulfilling. They're able to fulfill a lot of their own needs. And I think that is creating sort of some stagnancy from you in terms of how you want to see the relationship move forward. Like, you feel as though that, it's for some of you, it feels like a threat, or it feels like something that is, I guess the best word I can think of is a threat. 2 of Wands, 7 of Pentacles. Oh, a lot of stuff came out. I'm only going to take 5 of Cups. That, I think that there is the fear that, I think in the beginning of the reading, not that I was wrong, but that I was having a difficult time. It just felt like there was all these really great things going on, right? And then I'll just show you. Let's take a look. So there are all these really great energies going on, right? And then we have this 8 of Swords here, which is kind of like, what is that? Why is this 8 of Swords here, right? And my interpretation of it is that, the peaking or the revealing of the self-sabotage, right? The ways in which one might self-sabotage in the midst of really beautiful things happening. And that's very common, right? That if we are used to things sort of being filled with challenge, being filled with struggle, that when things go swimmingly, right, go well, or our confidence is up, and through the confidence being up, we're attracting all of these really great things, that there can feel a sense of like, well, I don't really actually belong here, which in essence will stunt and in some cases completely impede your mobility, right? To move upward or to move through wherever this chariot is trying to go, wherever this wheel of fortune is trying to turn for you. And so, and there's also a storyline going on here of an interest in somebody who sort of embodies these characteristics that for some of you feel very threatening, right? And I think also just in general, one minute, let me drink something. That I think in general with Libra, being that 7th house sign of harmony and one-on-one and cooperation and reciprocation, that when you are encountered with situations, that when the Libra archetype, right, is encountered with situations where, independence is already a thriving factor, that it can feel kind of like a threat, like, oh, well, then why, then where is the room, right, for the one-on-one? Where is the room for growth with someone? And that's not to say that, Libras having, a fear of, that's not at all what I'm saying. I'm just, for some of you, right, that there seems to be a situation looming where the person is very much content by themselves. And they've even, right, the 2 of Wands now showing up next to the Chariot, that this sort of tells a story, right, about this person or about even you. But in terms of the other person, that, I think that we had the 2 of Wands here, right? We have this person with 2 wands who has options. Do I stay or do I go? If I stay, I will have, I have created and built great abundance. I will have access to many things. I have maybe this great Libra here who has been so fantastic to me. And at the same time, this person is looking out with another wand and saying, but if I go, I'll have, with the world in the palm of my hands. There's more opportunity. There's more sort of, ability to move forward. And so I think this person has chosen, right, to go forth and to move on and to leave behind this wand, right? And I think that the fear or the reality for some of you might be that you were a part of this wand, right? That you were a part of the thing or a part of the package that got left behind by this person. This could also be you all sort of in a situation where you have chosen to move on and move forward and to plant your seeds, right? To give fortune a luck or a try, to give your luck a shot. Like, what can I'm in a windfall. What can I create and manifest? And I think, going both ways, either your response to this sort of energy of like, well, I'm moving on and I'm moving forward, has sort of created this paralyzing fear of being able to move forward either with them or on your own. 5 of Cups below the 2 of Wands further tells me the story of, leaving behind, right? The abundance that oftentimes, even with the 2 of Wands situation or a 6 of Wands, where we're moving into victory, or you've got the world in the palm of your hands, that there still is sadness in leaving, right? Even if what you're leaving behind is to move into something much greater, that there still is a process of, leaving behind that which with you spent a long time sort of building, and you've spent a long time filling these cups up. But there's 2, right, that remain behind you. And so, as usual, the 5 of Cups representing perspective. The focus of the reading is moving on, leaving something behind, and sort of the reactions that occur when we're in a space of I'm moving on, right? I'm going to sort of see what's in the next phase of my life. And that oftentimes we can get in our own way, right, when doing that, and also experience regret and not feeling so sure that was the right move. 10 of Swords and the Moon. Okay. I would be, if this represents another person, represents a Cancer energy, or, it could be Cancer, it could be any water sign or somebody with strong Cancer placements. But if this Chariot energy is, let me drink something quickly again. That the energies which surround this Chariot character, right? 10 of Swords, 9 of Swords, or 8 of Swords. It feels as though I feel like this 7 of Pentacles is a humble or modest sort of reference. Like, if this represents sort of what you have put into a relationship or into sort of this business venture or this person or this relationship or this deal, right? That if the 7 of Pentacles represents what you have put into it, that when it doesn't work out, right? If it doesn't work out, that the pain of the loss actually ends up being much greater, right? That it ends up feeling a lot more draining and exhausting than someone who's like, oh, okay, well, the 7 of Pentacles aren't, this isn't coming into fulfillment. I would be very careful. I think that what the message here is that this 8 of Swords can easily morph into this 10 of Swords, right? And then we have the Moon here. So this 10 of Swords process obviously leading into a period of darkness, a period of not feeling so sure, right? Not being able to see. And I think also with the Seven of Pentacles and the Moon here, that if there's something unresolved, that Leo season isn't the time where it gets resolved, really. That you plant your seeds and you're still in this period of waiting as we go through August and go through Leo season. And that what does come to fruition here is probably not what you expected it to be, right? What you did go off with this Two of Wands and the Chariot, what you did go off to sort of try and make happen ended up not really being what you wanted it to be. And I would also be careful with this Five of Cups and the Ten of Swords, to be very careful, right? That it's very easy, especially with air signs, especially with signs that, you know, with the air signs, you know, that have deep mental processes, you know, of course, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, also Virgo, I would even say also Cancer, have deep emotional and mental processes, right? That can lead into rumination, that the rumination only leads you here. The rumination slows down the entire process, because then what you end up doing is creating storylines, right? Each one of these swords being a storyline of regret, right? Or a storyline of resentment for why this person has moved on, or for why you've chosen to leave behind situations that, you know, felt pretty abundant initially, right? That the Five of Cups indicates, right, that you were so content. You were so content and everything was going so well. And then if you had just not decided to leave and to try something new, you wouldn't end up in this space of regret. Now, for those of you who are contemplating sort of moving forward or moving on, or, you know, going with a new job, a new career opportunity, like I'm talking big changes, right? I would definitely take the time to really sit and ask yourself, write a list of things, you know, what if I were to regret making this change? Why would I regret it? What is that based in? The pros, the cons. You know, what are the risk factors? What is my risk tolerance right now at this point in my life, right? Like just really asking yourself honest, evaluative questions, evaluating your own capacity to tolerate and go with the flow of this change. And then I think for some of you, you went through the process. And for some of you, the Eight of Swords, the Chariot was a reaction to the Eight of Swords, right? And what you ended up with was a Ten of Swords, right? That in reaction to, you know, feeling like you were in a place that was limiting your mobility, feeling as though you were in a place that was limiting your sense of self and your sense of being who you are, and growth, right? That you just sort of up and left. And for some of you, it's actually landed you in an even worse place, because maybe these can feel reactionary, right? That if we're in an Eight of Swords moment, the thing to do may not be to like pick up and move, but to like ask yourself, well, how am I perpetuating this sort of claustrophobic energy, right? So let's get final guidance for Libra for August 2020. Sorry, that took a lot of work to get out. Final guidance for Libra, August 2020. Magician. Be very careful of people who tell you that they have the answers to your problems, is what I'm getting with the Magician. Be very careful of people who claim to want to help you or work with you in any way, right? And then even with this Three of Wands, I'm seeing that even with the advances of the Magician, this Three of Wands has their back turned and is still, you know, we've gone from a Two of Wands to a Three of Wands. So I feel for a lot of you, the journey that you're undertaking, right? If you're moving into a new career, moving on from a relationship, there's a big change happening, starting a new relationship. I see you all sort of not really entertaining whatever manipulative advice this Magician may have to offer right now. And that instead you all are standing, having learned a lot thus far on your journey, right? As we get to the end of Leo season, to the end of August. And that you continue to rely on the messages and the deepening of understanding that you have within yourself, and not so much, just be very careful about people who, you know, claim that whatever it is you're waiting here for, they can bring it in faster. They can bring in this Seven of Pentacles faster. They can make this moon. That's not the point. Is for you all to go through the period of waiting, the period of harvest, the period of letting things come to fruition and to start seeding. Okay, Libra, very abstract reading. We'll see how things go for Virgo season for you, and we'll pick up the story where we left off. So I love you all, and I hope you've had a great summer thus far to the best of your ability, and I will see you in September.